In the darkness of night, a small town in Wisconsin would become the epicenter of a chilling abduction story. Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most gripping survival stories ever told. Today, we're diving into the chilling story of a young girl named Jayme Closs. On October 5th, 2018, Jake Patterson set out with the intention of abducting Jayme Closs. However, due to activity within the Closs residence, he hesitated, fearing that he would leave behind witnesses. Patterson attempted once more just 2 days later, but once again he retreated for the same reason. Then, on the evening of October 15th, 2018, in the quiet town of Barron, Wisconsin, life seemed ordinary for the Closs family. However, unbeknownst to them, a ruthless attacker, Jake Patterson, had been watching them. As darkness fell, Patterson carefully executed his plan. Disguising his face and vehicle, he drove to the Closs residence. Upon arrival, Patterson encountered James, Jayme's father, who was trying to assess the situation. In a brutal act, Patterson shot James and entered the house. Denise, Jayme's mother, tried to hide her daughter and called 911. Though Denise Closs remained silent during the call, the operator detected a commotion and shouting in the background before the line went dead. Patterson tracked them down, murdered Denise, and abducted the terrified 13-year-old Jayme, restraining her wrists and ankles with duct tape. Afterward, he pulled Jayme outside and forced her into his car's trunk before driving away. A mere 4 minutes after the distressing 911 call, the police arrived on the scene, but the suspect and victim has driven away. The nightmare had just begun. In the aftermath of the tragic night, news of Jayme's disappearance spread like wildfire. The small town of Barron was in shock, and the entire nation watched as law enforcement agencies, volunteers, and the media worked tirelessly to locate the missing teenager. Massive search parties were organized, and thousands of tips poured in, but Jayme's whereabouts remained a mystery. During this time, Jayme was held captive in a remote cabin 70 miles from her home, where Patterson had created a nightmarish prison. Patterson, consumed by overconfidence, thought that Closs was paralyzed with fear, certain she wouldn't dare to attempt an escape. In his arrogance, he didn't even bother to install special locks on the doors, convinced that she would remain submissive. The two even shared the same bed, further asserting his control over her. The cabin was filled with Patterson's belongings, a constant reminder of her captor's presence. He would play loud music to prevent any possible cries for help from being heard. Little did he know, his underestimation of her spirit and determination would become his ultimate downfall. On January 10th, 2019, nearly 3 months after her abduction, Jayme saw a glimmer of hope. Patterson told her that he was going to leave the cabin for a few hours. Seizing this rare opportunity, she courageously freed herself under the bed where he boxed her inside with his belonging. With her heart pounding, she made her daring escape. As Jayme emerged from her prison, she found herself in the freezing cold, wearing only a light shirt, leggings, and a pair of Patterson's shoes. Despite her fear and exhaustion, she pushed forward, determined to find help. Eventually, she stumbled upon a stranger walking her dog. Recognizing Jayme from the news, the stranger took her to a nearby neighbor's house, where they called 911. As Jayme's story came to light, law enforcement officers swiftly tracked down and apprehended Patterson. He was charged with kidnapping and the murders of James and Denise Closs. Jayme's nightmarish ordeal had finally come to an end, and the man responsible for her suffering was brought to justice.